What is home restoration and why is it necessary?
Home restoration is emergency repair after a disaster event, and it's necessary to fix a disaster that you've had at your house. So, some of the typical disasters that we see in the home restoration industry are flooding, fire, mold, storm damage. Those are the types of things that you should think of when you think of home restoration.
How often should I inspect my home for potential restoration needs?
So, restoration needs, because they're typically the result of a disaster, are usually pretty obvious. There are some events where we see like flooding in a basement or a crawl space or things like that that aren't immediately obvious. But this is not something that requires you to sort of go around your house weekly or daily or even yearly. If you're going into all the parts of your house regularly, then they become pretty obvious quickly. Some people never go in their crawl space. I recommend just opening the door and looking down there. You'll know if something's wrong quickly. And same for your attic. But other than that, generally speaking, you don't need to inspect for these types of damages.
What are common signs that my home needs restoration?
Common signs that you're in need of restoration: there's water on the floor, or you see paint bubbling, or there's a stain in your ceiling. These are all very common signs of water damage. Another one that you'll smell that sort of sometimes comes in both water and mold damage is you'll smell a musty smell. These are things that indicate that water is leaking and has been for a little bit. Fire damage is much more obvious. Usually there is a fire, smoke, those types of things. That's pretty obvious. And usually storm damage is obvious. That something has fallen on your property, either through your roof or on top of your roof. Those things are pretty obvious.
How do I choose the right home restoration service?
There are dozens of home restoration services in your area, and choosing the right one can be challenging. The way to choose is through careful examination and getting a little help. One of the best sources for recommendations for home restoration service is your insurance company. Your insurance company usually has a list of trusted vendors that they work with. These are people that have been vetted for both their training and experience by your insurance company. And these are people that understand the insurance industry and what you're facing and how to get your home back to normal. Also, if you're shopping on your own, some of the important things that you should look for are certifications by the IICRC and experience in the field. Both of those are critical and really necessary when you're hiring someone to do this type of work in your home.